time to look at a large stock dividend, and I think this will go faster. We're going to use the same set of facts. Let me bring them forward. So we start with our same stockholders' equity section where we have paid-in capital holding a total of $40,000 and total stockholders' equity, including retained earnings, holding $90,000. And if you want to find out what our outstanding shares of stock is, take the total dollar amount, divide it by par, and we have 1,000 shares of stock outstanding. And let's say, in this example, we issue a 50% dividend. So 1,000 from above times 50% means we're going to issue 500 shares of stock under the marketplace. So we're going to increase by half the number of shares outstanding. It's going to have a definite effect on market value. This is going to drive market value down, and it's thought, because of this, that market value is no longer a good number to use to estimate what the value of the dividend is, because it's going to be affected too dramatically by increasing such a supply. So we're going to go with a different approach. Back to our balance sheet and have a look at what we're going to do. We have two sections under stockholders' equity, paid-in capital and retained earnings. And on a large stock dividend, we move out of retained earnings into paid-in capital the par value of the stock. So in this case, 500 shares times $10 a share. So retained earnings should go down by 5,000, and the paid-in capital section should go up by 5,000, with the effect being no change to retained earnings. There are three important dates. Can you remember them? We have the date of declaration, where we will debit retained earnings, and we'll credit common stock dividend distributable, that temporary account. I'm abbreviating even more. And the amount will be at par value. We're issuing 500 shares, and par value is 10. 500 times 10, 5,000. Common stock dividend distributable, 5,000. And there will never be a contributed capital in excess of par for a large dividend, because we do it at par value. The date of record, we make the list. If it were me, I'd check the choice, and then date of issue. Get rid of the common stock dividend distributable that you set up, the owner's equity account. It's rather temporary. And issue the common stock. And remember, it's 500 shares we're issuing at par value of $5,000. And that's how you would record a large stock dividend. Let's do a comparison of stockholders' equity before and after. Let me put you on hold. Here's the format. Paid-in capital brought down from the top. We had common stock in the amount of $10,000 before anything happened. Paid-in capital in the amount of 30 total. The paid-in capital is 40. Retained earnings 50. Total being 90. If this went right, you should see par value being capitalized out of retained earnings and into paid-in capital section. Common stock for 10,000 plus 5 will leave common stock at 15,000. Paid in capital will remain unchanged at 30 since it's a large dividend, for total being 45, the paid in capital section. Retained earnings will have gone down 5, so 50 minus 5 is 45,000, and still sitting right at 90,000, no change in total stockholders' equity. Let's take a quick moment and summarize, as this always comes up on the test in the final. How is a cash dividend separate from a stock dividend? A cash dividend actually reduces the resources of a business because you pay out cash and in the end drops retained earnings. A stock dividend still manages to reward your owners, but it does it without making you permanently smaller. It takes some out of retained earnings and puts it in paid in capital. The amount depends on the size of the dividend, but there's no change in any of the counts. No change in cash, liabilities, no change in stockholders' equity. A little bit longer pincast, sorry to take so long. Let's call it good, and thank you for joining me for this discussion on stock dividends.